2 days. Monday, August something. It is. It is the last week here before we get some preseason games, which week one sucks anyway. But I was rock hard for the Hall of Fame game. I'm sure I'll be just as excited for another full week of shitty games. So I did not look at the schedule, but I'm guessing we have something Thursday at least. Pretty pumped. A lot of people getting hurt still. I'll update that later. I'll do an injury blog later. I think we're up to pert near a dozen ACLs ripped up for the year, and really only one game played so far. So that's rough. But as it turns out, not unprecedented, nor even out of the norm. Some surprising stats. Click here to find out. It's like a audio clickbait. What do we know, Whale? How's life on the West Coast?
Oh, so good to be home.
Yeah.
Traveling's tough, man.
Yeah, I'm in the car, dude. I'm at a rest stop in Poughkeepsie.
How was your weekend?
Good. I got drunk in South Dakota, and now I'm back.
Nice.
I'm wearing my seatbelt even. Well, now I'm not going to take it off. I'm actually driving. You can see I'm not driving. It'd be funny. I should do one of these driving. You think No, we shouldn't. Anyway, NFL.
Yeah, so it was a wild weekend. Yesterday, I got a chance to watch about 4 hours of NFL Network. Totally immersed myself in the goings-on of training camp across the league. It was fantastic. I loved it. I was so happy. I was sitting on Delta. They have a whole list of movies you can watch, and I was going through, and then I was like, I wonder if they have live TV. Sure enough, they had NFL Network. They were live at Broncos camp. It was fantastic. I learned a ton about the Broncos and their organization, and during the commercial breaks I was catching up and reading Football Outsiders Almanac, which again was outstanding. If you haven't already, go track that down. The articles, the team previews offered incredible insight, not just on like how to construct a team to win in 2018, but kind of how each team, what they did wrong last year, how they've improved their approach or haven't improved their approach this year. And it's a fascinating read. Gonna do a podcast with our friend Christian Pina about that Vegas Book Club on Football Outsiders Almanac here coming up shortly. So look out for that. But yeah, it was great, man. What's your 2-day topic?
Browns doing Browns things. Corey Coleman. That's kind of wild. It's not even like an important trade, probably, but it's just weird. Weird what it went down. Like if you're the Bills, it's just like a no lose. You're paying him probably under $2 million a year for a pretty fast. I mean, that's all I can say good about him right now. He's fast. He's got. So you know how they say some receivers have like hands made out of bricks. His are made out of glass because he keeps breaking them. But they gave up a 7th rounder for somebody that he was the first overall receiver taken that year, I believe. It was the trade that the Browns made to give the Eagles wins, essentially. And then it's mid-round. I can't remember the pick, but it was mid-round. They take Corey Coleman. 2 years later, they trade him away for a 7th rounder. He's still under a rookie contract. So I think 2 more years, the Bills can pay him bupkis. Hope he pans out. He's a outside speedster that the only thing I did read, I was trying to find like some stuff. There's hearsay and speculating that maybe it was a locker room problem. He wasn't getting along. And there was one tweet with no confirmed sources just said that possibly like other teammates had said that it was like surprising how little he knew about football and playing football. And that perhaps it was just a product of, hey, it's Baylor. Just run down the field. We're going to huck it to you. Like, that's kind of the old Baylor. I mean, I think that was Art Briles back when he was down there. It wasn't that long ago, 2-3 years ago. But, yeah, the air raid offense is quite a bit different from an NFL offense for the most part.
That fits your narrative, man. You don't like the Big 12 products in the passing game. You don't think they fit particularly well for the NFL.
No, and it's it's never panned out. But the air raid offense doesn't seem to translate all that well unless you have some people adjust and some people don't.
Right.
Like, obviously, like Des Bryant, he was a great player for a few years, but once the athleticism started to wane, things became a problem. But, yeah, we'll have to see. I bet that they were talking about this real early. I bet there'll be more news that comes out as far as what happened here because it seems awful lopsided. I don't know. We'll wait and see this week. See what comes out. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, I'm with you on
But,
immediate reaction. I think
yeah.
Bills was a no risk for them really here. Just they desperately needed a playmaker in the on the wide receiver core, so might as well give it a swing with the guy who was a top 20 talent. Browns. First of all, I almost feel like they're doing their damnedest to really hang all of the past failures on the previous management, which I don't know. I don't know if I totally buy all that, and I feel like to a degree they're full of shit. But whatever. They could have gotten more than a 7th-round pick for him from the Bills if they had shopped around. I bet you they could have gotten something from the Cowboys or the Patriots or somebody that was better than
The
a 7th
Patriots, the Cardinals.
Cardinals. Oh, Cardinals would have been a great fit. Send them to the desert.
There's plenty of places that could use the outside receiver, and
yeah,
I wouldn't give any more. So
right. So if they were determined to make a point that this guy's not worth anything, then they succeeded in that regard. But boy, they could have gotten more than a 7th-round pick for him. And the Browns overall, I'm not buying them this year. I don't love what the management and the coaches are doing. And if
I'd say best case they go 7-9 against the spread. As like a 15 times underdog. There should be a favorite in one game, unless they play well or something. So, what was on your mind for the day?
I wanted to talk a little bit about the Cowboys, who are going through a similar situation receiver-wise as the Bills. There's no talent there catching footballs. Michael Gallup may be the only bright spot in the receiving game for the Cowboys to this point in camp. Again, in the NFL Network coverage yesterday, which was just outstanding. Can't applaud those guys enough for putting out just an awesome product for hours and hours. But they went to Cowboys camp a couple times. Cowboys are out here in Oxnard, California, practicing. And in the first hit they did, the correspondent they had on the ground mentioned, Dak Prescott hasn't thrown a touchdown pass yet. And the host did a double take. He said, what? How could that be? Like, they've had 7 days of practice. They've had multiple walkthroughs.
I hadn't heard about that on social media yet.
Are you serious? Everybody's talking about that?
Oh, okay. Yeah. People are freaking out.
It blew up yesterday, for sure. It blew up yesterday, yeah. But before that, no, I hadn't heard anything about that. And so, they double-checked their sources. They got some additional – it's sure enough, he had yet to throw a touchdown pass yet. And it was what's going on here? Part of that I'm willing to hang on the talent on the receiving side of things. We have yet to see a tight end emerge to replace Witten. We have no idea what to expect out of Terrence Williams. He broke his foot or something last year and has come back way too fast and is dealing with pain and whatnot in his foot. This is no good. And then on top of that, we haven't seen Hearns yet. And so, what looked like on one hand could be potentially an underrated receiving core, who maybe cut some fat with Dez and Witten. Now we maybe have a particularly tough situation where there's no one catching balls. So it's going to be
for sure they cut some fat, but
yeah,
salary wise,
right,
it's
right,
great,
right.
It's beautiful, but you still have to have a passing game, and
right.
I don't know who talent. Dak's girlfriend is, but he can't throw the ball to himself. That's a Giselle line.
The Giselle line, yeah. He's got other distractions going on. People can't get enough about putting him on the spot to answer for whatever Jerry Jones's issues are with the anthem protests and stuff. And there was the other social media post floating around about Dak yesterday where did you see they recreated the sunken place mural?
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's obviously there's maybe no more pressure-filled position in all of the NFL than being the quarterback of the Cowboys, just because the media circus is what it is down there. And add to that, you give the guy nobody to throw to, and take away his most, his most successful pieces. What are we gonna do?
Yeah,
Zeke Elliott's gonna have to carry the whole team.
That whole like getting after Dak and the mural and all that. Like, we live, eat, and breathe NFL. Love the league, love the sport, love everything about it. But man, some people take it too serious. Like, it's still just a game. Like, chill out. And yeah, as far as the anthem stuff, I don't even want to hear about it. Like, just it's just enough at this point. Like, it's ruining the game for me, as far as like, it's just not something I want to hear about. It's not something I want to think about, and whatever. As far as you can say, I'm sticking my head in the sand. Like, just pick one way or the other. Like, make a rule. You're an employer. Make a rule. You should be able to make a rule as an employer. It's the league, and say this is what you have to do, and you can be punished if you don't. And if I'm sure you can find another way to protest. I'm sure you can find it. Boy, we're gonna get off on a whole different tangent here quickly. We can do this a different time, but yeah, I wish they just one way or the other. It's just so wishy-washy, and these team might do this, and this owner says that. I guess I'm just sick of hearing about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's even the original.
Just let them do whatever they want, or say no. Just make it black or white.
Yeah, I mean, they really just let them do whatever they want.
I don't care one way or the other. If everybody kneeled, I wouldn't care.
Right, and on top of all this, like, the root cause, the root issue at stake here has gotten completely lost, and it's gotten contorted by both sides of the media about this is about patriotism and blah blah blah, and the troops, and and it's like, this was never what any of this was about. It's been completely hijacked by the current political climate, which has no place in football, no place in the NFL, and it's a damn shame. So hopefully they move off of this, but Dak's gonna have to
like I said,
criticism.
I don't care one way or the other what they do, but just let's talk about the on-field product. I'm just so sick of hearing about it. So
yeah.
On that note.
There's nothing good to talk about the on-field product so far in Dallas. That's one of the problems here, If it was like, look at this chemistry Dak is building with these young guys, it's going to be great this year, then that'd be one thing. But we're not getting anything like that. So my expectations.
It's still early.
I know, but it's still like a weekend.
So early.
Expectations for the Cowboys this season is not trending up, I have to say. I thought coming into the season that they would have a bounce back year, like Carolina kind of last year had a bounce back year after a down year. But I don't know, man. I hate this coaching staff. I hate their offensive game calling. They didn't bring in guys who are thinking about the right way to approach and attack the league, and I think that's going to hurt them and handicap them this year, especially if you're in a division with a guy like, Doug Peterson and the Eagles are increasingly looking like the real freaking deal. And I'm nervous about the boys. So we got some good details coming up this week.
Yeah, we'll get to that. This Tuesday night, probably released, we'll have our first of our 4 division preview episodes. I won't even tell you what. Maybe we already told people. I don't know, but we're gonna do two per episode, 2 divisions. So special guests, secret guests, lots of surprises around every corner, lots of hot takes. We'll give some leans as far as what we're thinking for any futures bets, whether it's conference, division, to make playoffs, season win total, any sort of fun props on any of the teams. Like I said, Tuesday night will be our first one. We're going to try to do, I think, 2 per week for the next couple weeks, get all those division previews out. So once we get to the week before the preseason ends, we can actually talk about week 1 and, a few other things. We'll probably do something where we put together a whole bunch of props. We did that last year. That was a lot of fun. And, look for those coming out over the next 3 weeks as we move to podcasting twice a week rather than just our single or real sporadic schedule we did over the off season, full of hot dogs and basketball and God knows what else. So, and as always, subscribe here. Thanks for listening, watching. Check us out on Twitter. Hit us up on deepdivemedia.co for all our articles, podcasts, and guest articles. There's more of those starting to pour in. We're going to have some more guest content up, just good gambling, sports reading. We'll see you tomorrow.